The MA Fine Art digital program started in early October. I'm using this midpoint review as a form of reflection, to see where I started, how I developed, and where to go from here. One of the first artists I got exposed to was David Hockney. He produced the above work titled Arrival of Spring in Woldgate, East Yorkshire, and the elements of fantasy and almost like a dreamlike landscape would serve as an influence for my work as I went along the course. I began exploring the local scene. As you can see, an abandoned palace that I frequently pass by, and turned it into an artwork that you can see next. I decided to add elements of fantasy and childlike qualities, which was my project proposal. I then added animated factors after a short coding tutorial we had at class, adding the fire crackling in this piece you see. And the next one, a rotating sun, in this piece called Sunset Solitude. I then produced one of my favorite works, personal favorites, Starlight Starbright, which again harks back to childlike qualities. We then had a short group critique where I was informed by one of my classmates that I was a teller of stories. So I decided to add stories to my artwork. As you can see, a journey into an unknown place, or a fantasy-like fun place with the carnival theme. I then added short animations as well into my work. I even experimented with acrylics, playing with the skyline just to see if I could add again elements that way. I then began exploring the traits of the inner child and how to portray it in my work. Curiosity, wonder, enthusiasm, all these themes. I used photographs as a base and used that to develop my digital works. I began exploring, portraying enthusiasm with the trampoline park, both adults and children enjoying this activity. I then had one-to-one tutorial with Jonathan, and a few challenges emerged. He encouraged me to just keep on using one type of artwork, to beat at it, to try it over and over again and see what I produce. So we decided together to use photographs as a base and then use that to build upon my artwork. So for the next few works that I produced, I used that method, as you can see in the work above. Again, a photograph that I decided to use for the trait of faith in the inner child. And in the next one, the trait of being a risk taker. I then began to explore again using acrylics, trying to use different colors, trying to portray my theme in my artwork. The low residency in mid-February proved a perfect point to review my work and experiment. I used a portrait of Margaret Mee, an explorer I got exposed to in a lecture during the low residency, to produce the next work, which is a portrait of her, and add rain to refer back to her exploration of the forest. I experimented with using clay, with using pottery techniques to produce a boat, a kayak, an evil tree. We then had an installation to work with, and that was a new form of artwork that I had to be familiar with. I decided to produce childlike silhouettes, just to again hark back to my theme of the inner child. And this was one of a really enjoyable experience. Coming back home, I decided to continue my work and produce the next one, which was Firefly Forest. The way forward. Looking at the way forward, I think that now I have a good base and I would like to build upon it. A few questions arise though. Do I continue in the same manner? How best to portray my work? How can I show this in a final project as well? So I am exploring these questions as I go along. A few ideas that's popped out is having like a large size book to portray my work, or having extra large ordinary items just to add to the viewer experience and to make them feel what I wanted them to feel and get the point across. I now have a base, I now have an idea, I now have direction. Undertaking this self-directed program was a challenge, but I appreciate how motivated I am now, how encouraged I am now, and the support system that I have from my tutors, my classmates, and the general atmosphere of being this MA program. And I look forward to continuing my journey and going forward with my theme, my ideas, and my work. Thank you for listening.